Hey guys, Mouse here with another Patreon-sponsored video. Thank you to my patrons for your support. What I'll be doing today is the toonme challenge. It's been going around lately and I thought it looked like fun. So I grabbed this dressing room mirror selfie from a couple years ago because it's hilarious and also perfect for this challenge because there's two of me. Anyway, let's get into it. I started out by cutting out the one I wanted to replace with my self-portrait, the one on the right there, and lowering the opacity of a duplicated layer underneath it. This turned out to be a bad decision, as it took me a couple tries before I decided to just ignore the original and focus more on drawing myself the way I normally would, which I feel is really the point of the challenge, to put your real self alongside how you draw yourself. This initially led to one of my biggest issues with tracing, which is that it sucks the life out of everything. Yeah. So anyway, after I figured out how I wanted to go about it, this was pretty smooth sailing. The weirdest part for me was the hair, I think, just because I don't have hair that long anymore, and having to draw my long hair means I couldn't make it fluffy the way I like to. It's really noticeable in this how round I draw myself though, I think, because the angle of the reflection makes my face look a lot less round. I tend to think of myself as being fairly squishy though, which shows in the way I do self-portraits like this. Drawing yourself is a really great way to practice things you otherwise wouldn't, at least in my opinion, because you always have yourself handy to reference, and if you mess up, it's less disappointing than if, say, you wanted to do a really cool piece of your favorite character. For example, not that I'm speaking from experience or anything. So I love these kinds of challenges because there's nothing more self-indulgent than literally making art of yourself. Coloring was pretty basic, I think, though I did have to up my brush sizes in sketching, line art, and coloring quite a bit since this selfie was significantly larger than I usually have my canvas. Which is why you'll see here in a bit, I actually gave myself pupils. The irises and highlights only that I normally do are due to size and detail restrictions, so a bigger canvas means I can get a little more detailed in small areas like that. But definitely if I were to do this again, I would try shrinking the image before I started drawing, just because I'm not used to working so big. You'll notice I stay kind of zoomed out a lot for this one, which is a little unusual for me. Normally I zoom in and out way more often, but I think I ended up being scared that the size would make things look weird if I didn't pay attention to it. Which is a good thing to keep in mind. I think I just got too in my head about it though, so I missed out on the opportunity to maybe try something a little different. I did try to make up for it by being more detailed in the shading, particularly on the face, and overall I do think it turned out kinda cute. I'm especially proud of how the colors really look like they belong in the image, which will become even more noticeable after I put down my final adjustment layers. Especially given that I didn't eyedropper anything that I hadn't put down myself. So all the colors that I used actually came straight from my palette or were slight adjustments that I made to colors from my palette. But anyway, that's pretty much it. There you have it. My take on the #toonme challenge. I would just want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.